Hi everyone, I'm Jack, Tabletop Scan Man. A few months back, I managed to get hold of this Revopoint Mini. Claims to have 0.02mm single frame accuracy, which I think would be good enough for scanning things like Warhammer models. And I'm sure if you've seen it, you would have had the same idea. In today's video, I'm going to put that to the test. Let's see how it does. So to get this done, I'm going to try and scan 4 different things, just to show you a different scale of like size and complexity and different details. First up, I've got an original Marine, as they were lovingly called back in the day. This is from the Warhammer box set from 4th edition. It's what I used to get into the hobby. I'm looking forward to scanning it and seeing what comes out of it. It's kind of like the bog standard infantry model that I think everyone knows and can relate to. The next model I'm going to take a look at and scan is the workhorse of the Imperial Guard, or Astra Militarum to our more recent friends, the Leman Russ, or Leman Russ, or Leman Russ. It's got a bit of a larger surface area, large flat areas to it, but it's also got some really nice like little intricate detail. I might have to do it in a couple of scans, I've not tried it yet. Next one up is something that I wanted to pick because it's just a little bit more organic. And it's this Tyranid Tervigon model. This might actually work doing it in like a scan this way up and then towards its belly. So we'll see how that goes. And then last up, because a few of you asked about terrain pieces and things in my last video, I've got a bit of the terrain from Battle from Macragge. It's part of the crashed Aquila lander. I think it's Aquila because, again, it's got a lot of detail to it. It's nice and big. And we'll just see what comes out on it. I'm kind of hoping that this one will come out the best. And it's generally quite forgiving because it's meant to be a ruin. So, yeah, we'll see. So before we even go plug anything in, it's best to concentrate on prep work. I've found that if you want to start from scratch and you've got like a blank model, say Space Marine or something that's purely just plastic, the best way to go is to go and undercoat that in a nice matte white colour. But that being said, I got myself some scanning spray. This is from a company called AESub, or AESub. It scans on, turns things white, and then after 4 hours it's meant to disappear. I've not had to go back and clean up my models just yet, so it's working out okay. Keeps like turnaround times to a minimum for me and minimal effort, which, you know, I'm a lazy guy, so I'm quite into. Just in regards to the actual setup with everything itself, you'll see in the background of these videos here, I've set up like a bin bag thing. It comes with the scanner itself, and I'll just hook it up there. The thing you want to kind of look out for is to limit the amount of ambient light. I lost a bit of tracking when I was running in daytime conditions, but that's not to say I know why. It just worked out that way, so I found running a bin bag works out a bit better. So yeah, first up we've got the Space Marine. Let's jump on the computer and see how it goes. So to get the Mini up and running, you need to download RevoScan, and it's probably worth grabbing Revo Studio as well. So you go into, you pop open RevoScan once you're connected up to your computer, so everything's all plugged in and ready to go. It should be showing a blue light on the scanner once you open this up. So just a quick overview of the RevoScan software. So at the top here you've got an idea of how things are doing, so where the scanner currently is sat between excellent, good, too far and too near. Left over here you've got your different functions. So preview is if you want to see what's currently going to be scanned and how much of the model you're going to get out of that scan feature. Add a new scan, go into your model list, open up the guide, and then speak to support. You've got some various other settings down here. The only other one you kind of need to attack on this page are these ones down here. If you manage to grab a dual axis turntable in the turntable here, all you need to do for now is just make sure that it's connected. So yeah, that's now connected, and then you can go and set up some sort of automatic things if you want to scan one rotation at 0, 15 and -15 degrees, but for now we'll just go into manual mode here, and then we'll go start, but I'll crank the speed right up just to make sure that we get a good pass. And then what you want to do is drop that off and make sure that you're picking up every detail on your Space Marine. So currently, as you can see in the top window, this is really nice. The brightness of that is good because it's set to auto and it's gone to max. But down here, this is really dark. So blue areas it's not picking up anything. As you can see, it's still picking up some detail because it's pulling something out. And generally, you want to set this value to as low as possible. But in this case, you want to set it, I found, so that you're just getting some red bits, which is where it's telling you that it's now overexposed. There's another function here where you can set that to auto. I mean, personally, I don't like it because it will just make it try a bit too hard. But I'll show you what it does anyway. So it's trying to grab all of that background information if I set that to auto as well. So if we take that down, and it's agreeing with me that at 2, it's about where we want to be with this model, which is good news. So we'll drop it back to manual, stick it at 2, and then I think we're ready to go and scan this. So if you go over here to scan, let's call it something funky, like Spez Marine 1, and then you get a couple of settings here. So we're going to set this between a fast and high accuracy. Obviously we want high accuracy. If you want to put markers down, if you see on this turntable over here, it has a few markers already, but if you were to have like a specifically defeatured part and wanted to go and scan that, you could put markers physically onto it and it would work off those rather than the features. But we're going to stick it to features at the minute. And the scan object we're going to say is general, but you can set it to a dark object. I've not played around with that. And I'm going to say that I don't want any color. It's also got an RGB camera, which is this one at the top right. So if you wanted to extract color from your model and put that into your scan data, you can, and it will put it as like a texture layer, but we don't want that. We just want pure data to work from, and then you can go and 3D print and add whatever you need. I do have a dual axis turntable, so I'm going to turn that on. And then we're going to go up to here, and then it's going to ask me, how do you want to set your turntable up? So currently I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop that because that's in a good position for me. And then we're going to have to hit that to automatic. I'm going to just do one rotation with it at 0, and then one rotation at 15, and then one rotation at -15. And see how that comes out. Off we go. Let's see how this works. So, as you'll see, everything in green is what it's picking up at the minute. It looks kind of great at the minute, so let's speed this up. Okay, so that's the scan done. Let's complete that and go over to our view settings. Let's put that to manual, and then we'll try for the best accuracy we can get out of this thing. Let's give it a blast. I will say that the more accuracy you want out of this, the longer this is going to take. So I usually hit this button, go make myself a coffee, and then chill out whilst it figures itself out. The fusion's now done. Let's have a look. I mean, that's come out quite nice, actually. Look at that. There's some really nice detail there. I mean, a lot of it is kind of missing, but I'm assuming that's to do with just angles and what the scanner could actually see and get to. Yeah, like behind the backpack there, and behind the bolt gun. Yeah, let's mesh this up, see how it turns out. So I'll go over here to mesh settings. Let's whack that right up, and then I won't put any denoise on it. I mean, I can always come back and change these settings later, I believe. So let's mesh this up. That's our meshing done. And the first thing you'll notice is that it's turned all the nice little point clouds into just fancy blobs. But the other thing you'll notice is that that marine is done. And if we spin him around, that's actually come out quite nice. It's picked up some of the detail on the helmet. You could at least get some scale off of that. I think I could maybe even get better results out of it if I took that into Studio. But in the interest of not making this video 6 hours long, I'll leave that for another day. I mean, you can see it's picked out the detail on the edge of the shoulder pad there. It's picked out some of the detail on this hand where he's got his trigger point, and picked out the knee pads and everything. So I think that's captured the majority of the detail you'd want. Where it had holes, say from the bolt gun to the Imperial Eagle on the back here, it has just filled that in. So just bear that in mind. If I were to go straight 3D print this now, it would just be one gelatinous blob of a Space Marine. So maybe you'd want to go and press the not fill holes selection, but that's cool. I'm going to call that good for now. So I'll go and export that. So yeah, that's exported successfully. Let's do the Leman Russ next. Okay, so as I thought, this Leman Russ is going to be a bit of a pain in the arse. I've just done a couple of scan rounds of it. I've set the Mini up a little bit higher than it would normally sit, and then I've tried to step it back a touch to get more of the model in. I'm definitely going to have to do 2 scans of this at least. So anyway, let's go scan. Leman Russ. High accessory. Features. General. No colour. Dual axis turntable. Okay. Let's do some settings. Set this to automatic, and then I'll set that. That's fine. Close. And then what we'll do is we'll hit play. And then we'll speed this up. That's it. Okay, let's go complete. Let's fuse this up, but at the highest quality, and we will go and make a cup of tea now. Right, well that took an absolute age, but it's done now, so let's have a look at this quick in the fuse. I mean, that's actually really nice. Like, I didn't expect it to capture as much as it has. It's like all the rivets and everything, and I mean, that's the smoke launcher is a bit like ham-fisted, but I mean, it looks really good. I'm really pleased with that. Yeah, I'll turn it into a mesh, and then I think I'm going to do another one, because you know you don't want a tank with no bottom on, surely. After the latest fiasco with Rogel Dawn's tank or whatever it is. So yeah, let me turn this into a mesh. Let's go there. Let's do that. Go. It's telling me the mesh is done. Mate, look at that! Oh my god, it's really sorted out that little ham-fisted. Oh, that is amazing. I mean, on the bottom, that's that's not great, but look at that detail on the sides. Oh, that's amazing, that. Look at that. Oh, wow, it's got like the ribs for the... Oh, this is fantastic. Oh, wow. You could probably, with a little bit of tweaking, you could like mesh that and print it. You wouldn't have to do much though, would you? Look at that. That's amazing. Okay, right, what I'm going to do now is take another scan of it on its side, and then see if I can mesh the 2 scans later. let's go and fuse it. Okay, so the fusing on that is complete. I mean, even just looking at that point cloud looks great. I'm really impressed with that. I'm not going to turn this one into a mesh because I think it'll take forever. So what I'm going to do is just export that and then get it into Revo Studio so I can combine the meshes. Okay, so let's go in and open up Revo Studio. Let's import a model here. Let's go and find our Leman Russ 1. Leman Russ. So you get two files. You'll get a mesh file if you've meshed it, and you get a fuse file. I only need the fuse file, so I'll put that in for now. Right, so let's put that in. But I mean, the first thing to look at down here is the vertex count here. I've got 51 million vertexes. This is going to make this very slow. So what I'm going to do is go over here, and first of all, I'm going to do a trim. So what I usually do is line this up. Let's spin this round a bit. Get that nice and lined up. So I've got a nice flat plane to work from. Probably about there. Hit trim. And then let it do its work. And then you want to right mouse click and then drag to the left. And it will keep everything above that line. So I'll get rid of all those. So that's just done. We can apply that now. Right, so the thing that you're going to want to work on first to get rid of a lot of these vertexes is the overlap detection. I'm going to set that to large and then hit preview. And then wait for that to work. Well, that took an age, but it's now done. And guys looking at this, once you run this sort of thing, might be thinking, oh my God, it's going to delete everything. But all it's doing is looking for points that are really, really near to one another. And we already know that this is a very high detail model, so I can probably take some out because there's a load of flat space. And as you'll see here, I mean, I don't know if I can rotate that without it crashing, but yeah, as you'll see there, loads of it is on the flat detail. So let me hit delete and I'll show you what that takes that down to. So it's currently at 51 million. Hopefully this takes this down to something a bit more reasonable. So it took it down to 16 million, which is more than I would have hoped. So there's over half of what it's done. And to be honest, looking at it, we haven't lost an awful lot of detail. There's still all the detail there that we wanted from it. It's still done all right, grabbing all that together and all that together. And I think it will come together really nicely once we go to mesh it. So that there's just a little bit more underneath that I think I need to get rid of because honestly I don't need it. But so to do that, what we do is we go over here and then we go to edit. We'll do a lasso select, and then I think what I'll do is let's angle this a bit nicer so I can get to that point. No. Let's get rid of that bit. Just to show you. So that was right mouse click, hover around it all, and then hit delete. And what it does is it goes through and it removes it. Just like that, you know. Exactly what we wanted that to do. And then sometimes it doesn't update the display. Yeah, see, there's actually nothing there for it. Okay, so I'll call that done. There's probably a little bit more I can do in terms of cleanup on that, but to save time on this video, we'll call that where that is now. So we'll go and save that. We'll go up here, we'll go to export, and then we'll save that as, where's Leman Russ 1 fuse, that one, and then we will save that as _rep, just to know that I've repaired that one. We'll save that. That's now exported successfully. We'll hit OK, and then we'll go and import our other model. Yes. Leman Russ, so sort by name, go down to Leman Russ 2, the fuse of that, and we'll open that. And then as you'll see, this is at 9 million, so oh, it's actually 965,000, so about 1 million, which makes this a lot easier to deal with. Right, so we'll angle that up. We'll go back here to our trim plane again, and then we'll cut it off where we don't need all that erroneous data down the bottom. Hit apply. Go back up here to overlaps. We'll do the same thing. Preview overlaps. Now, because we've only done one pass on this, you'll see that there's actually less overlap on this, which is great. It'll still take some information out. So it took, 200,000 vertexes that it deemed that it didn't need, which is fantastic. The other bit I'm going to try and do, because we only really want the bottom of this and the top, and the sides are sort of not really helping us. What I might try and do is try and skim some of this off. So like all this data here, I don't actually need. And I think that should be good enough. We should have enough data on the front of that to pull into the other model, and then still enough there to line it up with what we've already got. I mean, I'm still disappointed that this didn't come in, but we'll see how this turns out now. So we'll go and align that, and then we'll add a model. We'll go up to our Leman Russ 1, repaired, open that up. Okay. So we've got both models here. What we want to do, you can set it by features and then hope that it picks up enough data. Because I've taken some data out of this model, I probably will do it a bit manually. So you go over to point selectors list, and then you go over to here, put a load of points in. So I'm going to put a point there, there, there. Hit apply, and then that worked that out. So that's done its alignment. Let's have a quick look around. I think it's done a good job. I can't see anything too erroneous on that. I quite like it. Let's do a quick cleanup. So we'll go back over to point cloud. We'll do some overlap detection again. Preview. Okay, so again, it's taken most of the model and put that in red, so we'll delete that. And then we'll go back in. Oh. Let's take it down to medium. Preview that bad boy. Okay, so it's found a bunch more. Let's get rid of those. And then let's do one last one at small. And it's found a couple more. So we'll delete those. Okay, the reason for doing that and going through each process like that is to try and reduce as much noise as possible. Now we've got our sort of finished point cloud. It's got a nice bottom to it. We've got a decent top. It's kind of filled in some of that detail. I think what I'll do is if I hit that to go and fill now, we'll see what comes out, because I think that'll turn into a really nice model. If we go over to mesh, let's go to advanced. Let's go, say we want to fill holes, and then we want to go mesh level as high as possible, which is 7. It's going to make it ridiculously high poly count, but we can always decimate it afterwards. So let's go and have a look. Let's apply that. I fully expect this to take a while, so I'll pause it and come back. This is done. So we've got a whopping 7,987,382 vertexes. That's probably just about what my computer can handle. So let's have a quick look around this thing. That's great. I mean, there's a fair amount of noise still on the surfaces, so I'd have to go and clean that up. But I mean, you could write that off as texture, right? It's probably something to do with the amount of the dark detail of the mesh. If I went and took that down to maybe 6 and redid it, I'd probably get better. But that's a great mesh. Like, that's a great scan. I'm going to call that good. And I mean, if you've done better with a Leman Russ, I'd like to see it. That's great. Okay, so finally, let's export that. As a Leman Russ. Leman Russ Mini 1. I mean, I already did it once, but let's save it as a STL. Save. Then I'll open it in Blender later. Next up then, we've got the Tervigon. Right then, so last up, we've got this Tervigon. Let's have a look. Let's set this up to 3. I probably want to add 2. So yeah, I've just blue tacked it down onto the table. I'm thinking maybe I'll take a step back with this. I've currently tried to like set it so that everything's in excellent, but I kind of want that to be excellent good. If I do a quick rotation, let's see where everything goes. So the side is still in excellent region. So if I pull that back, go about there, I think. I will need to up the gain for this because it's taking longer to get to the sensor and come back, which would mean I end up with a little bit more noise. But I'm thinking this shape is very organic, so I should be able to get more data by pulling back on it and be able to repair it a bit easier. So I think I'm going to go with that. And we'll see what that looks like. We'll do our 3 rotations. High accuracy featured, general, no color, and I do have a turntable. I don't want it particularly slow because it's massive. So I might crank it up really fast and then see how the scanning goes. So crank it up to as fast as that will go. So I'll just get loads of data because the frame rate's pretty fast on this Mini as well. I'll do 1 rotation at that, and that, and then we'll see where we go. Okay, here we go. To continue, let's go here to point cloud, make sure we're on those default nice real fine settings. That's come out really nice, look at that. It's got a lot of really good detail in there. Really, really good. Like, it's picked up the little divots around where the bits are. Oh, I'm impressed with that. That's like real usable. So I think what I'll do now is I'll do another run that does it on its side. Yeah, because then I'll capture all this detail here. And then cement some of that. That is beautiful. Yeah, let's do that. Cool. Let's call it Tervigon one side. High accuracy features, general, no color, axis, turntable. Let's all go okay. Then let's go over here, and I honestly don't think I need that information. I think if there's anything missing, I'll add it myself. So I will just do 1 rotation at 0. Okay, yeah. Then we'll hit auto. Let's go and make sure you're looking fine, madam. Right, let's go. there as well. Ooh, okay, so we've finished. Let's just fuse it up, go complete. And yeah, I'll shout when it's back. And again, has produced something damn nice. I think when we merge those, that's gonna be an excellent scan. I'm almost certain there's gonna be something damn amazing. So let's export that guy. As Tervigon. Side 1. Save. Okay, so with those exported, let's get them into the studio. Let's import one of them. What did I call them? Tervigon. Open. Key. I mean, that is excellent, isn't it? Oh, God. That is just a beauty of a scan, right? My God. Oh, God, right. So let's get that kind of level. Let's go. Trim. Right. Let's go this way. Let's keep everything above that line there. Boom. Cool. Vertices. Let's get this overlap detection done. Set that to large. Hit preview. Whew, that took a while. So that's all selected. Let's delete all those. It's literally taken like 30 million of them out, which is just great. Okay, this should stop crashing my computer now. Let's look for isolated objects. Let's put that to medium. Preview. That's found plenty. Okay, so that took out another 2 million. I'm going to call that done. So let's go and export that now. There's Tervigon 1 fuse underscore rep. Save. And then let's import one. The current model has been modded. Yes. New. Tervigon side. Open. Oh my God. Go home, Mrs. Tervigon, you're drunk. I mean, it's even picked up some decent detail with the little gaunt guy on the front. That's cool. Nice. Again, let's trim that up. Let's look for overlapping. Preview that. In this one, that's good. Delete those. Do some isolated. Apply. Taking it down to 9 million. Let's take that down to like small. It's not really highlighted anything, so cool. Right, let's work on some alignment then, shall we? So let's go over here to alignment, add in a model. Let's chuck in Tervigon rep. Open. I wonder if he'll just do it automatically. Should I just let's see what that does? Right, so that's all done. Let's have a look at this now. Oh, wow. It did an excellent job, didn't it? That's like a full model of a Tervigon that we can just go and play with. It's just awesome. Right. Okay, let's overlap detect on this. There's bound to be some stuff. Wow, that looks like a lot. So we're at 17 million. Yeah. Delete. Back down to 13 million. Oh, nice. Right. Let's mesh this now. I'm gonna go super HD meshing. Gonna go 7. I mean, it's probably gonna take years. Let's fill some holes. Then we'll do it afterwards. Go! Wow. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's probably the best scan I've done. There's obviously some stuff in behind his head that I need to fix, but shit, her head, sorry. Like, even the face is so detailed. Wow. Let's fill some holes. Let's do tangent. Preview. Select all. Apply. I mean, that's not actually bad. Considering this thing's like an organic shape, I could probably go in Blender and shape that into something fancy and that into something fancy. We're at 3 million vertexes. That's really good. I mean, you'd probably want that down at about 1 million to get anything in Blender out of that, but Jesus Christ, that looks amazing. I think you could take that model and just print it. And, like, I wouldn't know that's not tabletop. It's genuinely amazing. Really impressed with that one. Really, really impressed. Okay, last up we have the bit of terrain. The crashed Aquila lander, or Aquila lander. Let's give that a blast. Okay, so last up is this Aquila lander. Let's go in and get this done. Crash lander. Crash lander. Okay, go. I'm only going to do one rotation because I'm sort of angling down on it at 45 degrees and there's no undercuts on this. So let's go set this, see what it wants to be in auto. 6? I don't think you want to be 6. I think you're at best about 3. Yeah. Go. Alright, that was quick. Let's fuse that. Okay, so that's fused. I mean, it looks okay. It's a bit soft, maybe. I think that's more to do with like the noise that was getting off it, and I couldn't really get it to light up okay, but that looks alright to me, so let's put that at 6, see what we get off it. Okay, so that's come out really nice. It's tidied up a lot of those edges. They're still quite soft, but there's a bit of noise on the flat regions, but I mean, it's a terrain piece, it's got dust and all kinds of crap over it, so I'm going to take that as a win. Quite like that. I think the only thing I'd have to now do is put this into Blender, because it's like a sheet. I'd have to give that some thickness before I printed it. So I'd probably chuck that in Blender, give it some thickness, and then yeah, that's ready to just chuck on the printer and go, I think. Alright, I think last thing for me to do is chuck all these models side by side in Blender and see what they look like. So then let's jump into Blender quick and see how we go. I'll be honest, I did already load this up, so here we go. We're in Blender now. Let's have a look at that bit of terrain that we just did. So there it is. If we have a look round it, you can see, yeah, they did pick up a fair bit of noise on it. Again, you could put that down to like erosion and stuff, and to be honest, it wouldn't be too hard to go and fill that back in now that it's in Blender itself. But overall, I'm quite impressed with it. Let me know what you think. Next up, we've got the Tervigon was the next one, wasn't it? And this is amazing. I mean, there's still some noise on that where I've got the the shell and stuff, but I think that's only going to add to the texture of this. This has been very forgiving in terms of getting a mesh together and getting the right scanning results. I think if you took a step back on that, that's one hell of an amazing scan, and I'd be very happy to take that straight onto a printer and see how that looks. Yeah, that's by far like the best. I think models of this sort of size and scale is what that Mini is designed to do, and it does show. I mean, it's got a lot of detail. It's got the eye sockets picked up every single one of those teeth, you see, even the little gaunt underneath. It's managed to pull more detail out of it than I thought it would. There's definitely enough there to go in and sort of sculpt on, which is fantastic. Next one was the Leman Russ. So that part there come out really nicely and clean in the end. If you, from a distance anyway, if you get really close, it does look really kind of blotchy in that. But I think that I could quite easily do that with a decimate modifier. That would take a lot of that out. Again, I'm not going to do that in this video because it's already long enough. But my next video will be showing you how to turn these into 3D models. I think overall, that's done really well. It just needs a little bit of cleanup, and maybe I could go straight off the first scan I did of that because it looked cleaner than the second scan. It'd be interesting to see what the noise from the system was, because I think it was that second scan I did, it introduced a lot of noise. So yeah, that's that. And then lastly, we've got our statue marine, and to look at it, it looks really nice. It's picked up a lot more detail than I gave it credit for in the initial scan. Like, you can see that it's picked up at least where the eye sockets are, all the detailing on its backpack, and all the little bits of sand I had on the base. So if I spin that round, you can see on the backpack it's picked up where all the little holes are and everything. So it just needs going and sharpening up, really. There's not a lot really needs doing to that. You need to add a bit more detail into the leg fairings and all the little buckles and things again, but it's pulled out of the things like the purity seal and all the bits of the backpack there. I think if I was to sort of scale that up and print it, you could make that look like an actual statue that someone stood and carved, you know. That could make its own little terrain piece. So if I was to make that, say this, just see, so if I was to scale that up the size of that Tervigon there, you could make that its own little terrain piece, which would look pretty good on the battlefield, I think. But overall, I think I'm really, really impressed with what that Mini's put out. I would recommend you use it for the sort of larger, more organic shapes, and maybe even tanks. Anything below this sort of scale, so infantry level scale, it'll give you purely just a reference. So that now, if I wanted to go and do like conversions and put new shoulder pads and things on that, I could use that for scale, and I could use it to scale everything else off. So every time you go to do a print, there's always have I got that the right size? And now that you've got like a reference model of a Space Marine, that's always there. You don't have to go and measure it up again. You just look at images on Google, or ask someone to put a Space Marine next to something on one of the forums, and yeah, you're ready to go. So finally, I just wanted to say thanks to everyone for like sticking around this long. If you've made it this far, please consider giving me a subscribe if you haven't already. I will be putting up loads of more info. If you want to find the STLs for these files, I'll be putting them on cults as the names that I saved them under. All right, thanks, bye.